Frequency forecast from Lee for June 2025. Several new collective realities are currently active on planet Earth. This means that events with different scenarios have already been determined parallel to each other, all having various completion cycles of key events. This month's unique feature is switching of the individual person between branches of alternative realities. In everyday perception, this can manifest itself as drastic discrepancies in information. For example, a message about military actions, later refuted, or subsequent appearing and disappearing of the same public figure in the informational space. It could look like fake news, but in fact it turns out to be none other than you visiting different universes. Yes, of course, a lot of disinformation is created, but during this period you literally begin to travel through different worlds. And the question is no longer what to believe, but what interpretation to give to what is happening. If your position is based on the evolution of civilization and the vector towards development, then apparent negative event for you will unfold either in the form of unconfirmed information or will promptly develop into extremely positive events, meaning that your intention to be in a beautiful world will show you this world. You don't create it yourself in detail. You are not personally responsible for other people's actions and decisions, but you personally choose the universe where all outside actions directly correspond to the way you experience the world. You do not need to wait for this or that event to happen. You do not need to worry about the fates of other people. You will automatically be switched to the branch of reality where your frequencies will lead you to a collective result. Which means different people will literally see same events on different dates. In a sense, these are the first precedents for historians when different dates will be accepted for one and the same phenomenon. This is the beginning of a new history, of a new civilization, the acceptance of multivariance. Although for science in general, it is the acceptance of obvious quantum uncertainties at the collective level. Physically and mathematically, this is quite possible. But for human consciousness, such a phenomenon is something new and might at present sound like science fiction. At the individual level, people will notice these transitions, but the mind, of course, will refuse to accept different events and different dates as being present in different universes. Each individual will prefer to stick to their own linear version, considering the possibility of erroneous information, fakes, or misunderstandings. But in conversations with other people, you will begin to discover a pattern. Everyone sees such deviations, and more than once. The repetitive nature of such occurrences will become obvious. At some point, you will suddenly realize with all clarity what you are dealing with. So you will have to start getting used to looking differently at both the world and the very process of creating reality. Someone will need a year to get used to this state of affairs, and another won't be able to accept it even in a decade, thus denying the possibility of existence of parallel realities. And of course, denial will lead people to a long path full of dramatic events. But those who accept it quickly will adapt and begin to use it for their own benefit. After all, you are actually mastering nothing other than personal responsibility for your creation. So June is the portal to the multiverse, a period of acquaintance with the principles of its existence and your own reactions.